Hi, this is Sherry Mumford with Stamping at Last. Today I'm going to show you how to make this decorative Kleenex box cover. So as you can see, I used some retired designer series paper for this box. I also used the layering ovals framelit, the deco labels framelits, and then the snowflake card thinlits, which are retired, but this is just products I used for this specific one. I'm going to show you another sample that I made. Now this sample is using current paper. I used a brightly gleaming designer specialty paper. I used the copper foil, and I used the stitched stars dies. Those are available now. So that's kind of darker and kind of shines with those little stars. For the box I'm going to show you in this video, I'm going to use some paper that's not out yet. This paper is from the mini January through June 2020 catalog. I thought this would make a beautiful Kleenex box. I love that petal pink background. There's some cherry cobbler in there, and you see it's kind of shiny there. I'm not sure if that's silver or champagne foil and kind of in the background, but I thought this would make a really pretty box. This designer series paper is called Parisian Blossoms. It'll be available January 2020, so you want to be sure and put that on your list now. So to get started, I'm going to show you what sizes of paper you'll need. Now I'm thinking I'm going to make the base of my box in smoky slate. That's what I used for this one too. I think it just makes a nice background. So this is the cardstock part. You'll need 1 6 9/16 by 6 9/16 square. This is going to be for the lid of the box. Just one of those. You'll need 2 pieces of 9.5 by 5 1/8. 2 of those. And I chose smoky slate, but whatever color you choose, that's the amount you'll need. For the designer series paper on the sides of the box, for the top of the box, you'll need 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, just one. For the sides of the box, you'll need 4 pieces of 4 1/4 by 4. And for the sides of the lid, this piece right here, you notice I used a ribbon there, but for this coordinating paper goes perfectly, so I'm going to use this for the sides of the lid. That's 4 1/4 by 3/4. I don't want to forget to mention where I found this box at. The sample and the measurements for the box, I found it on splitcoaststampers.com. The first thing I'm going to do is get my scoring out of the way. So I use my scoreboard for this. I just think it's easier if you're doing much scoring at all to use a scoreboard. This one piece is for the lid. This 6 9/16 by 6 1/19 square. We're going to score it at 1 inch on all 4 sides. Then the other 2 pieces that are part of the base, these are the ones that are 9.5 by 5 1/8. We're going to score them at 1/2 inch and 5 inches. So they'll each get scored that same amount. 1/2 inch and 5 inches. And I'm going to start with this lid. If you watch the video from Split Coast Stampers, you know she puts hers together first and decorates the sides. I kind of do mine as I go. It's just easier for me. It's whatever your preference is. Hopefully you can see those score lines. Now we're going to cut an oval in the middle of this, but this is too wide to go through my die cut machine. So I'm going to trace an oval. Now I got my ovals from the Layering Ovals Framelits dies. I'm using the largest plain oval. I'm going to put it in the middle, and I'm going to trace around it with a pencil. Make sure it's centered. And we're just going to fussy cut this out. I'm tracing on the back of it. Not that it will show anyway, but it made me feel better. Okay, and when you cut it out, it does not have to be perfect. It's not going to show because it's going to be inside your box. And so I just kind of cut a hole in the middle to get started and cut out that whole oval. Like I say, this isn't necessarily going to be pretty. Okay. On top of this is going to be that one piece of paper that was 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square. It's going to be this one. But first, before I adhere it, I'm going to cut another shape into the top. You notice this one has that shape, that Deco Labels framelit shape. So I'm going to use the smaller one. I'm going to cut it out like that. I'm going to run this through the die cut machine. And then I'm going to cut out a piece of smoky slate with these two pieces to make my border. So I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, let me take this off. I taped it down so it wouldn't move. Get rid of that tape. So as you see, when you adhere this to the top, that messy oval isn't even going to show. Before I put that on the top though, I think I'm going to go ahead and put this piece. This was the piece I ran through with both of my Deco Label framelits. Like that, to get my border for this. And cherry copper might look good too, even for the base of the card, but I thought I would try something more subtle, so we'll see how it turns out. Just gonna use a little bit of glue. I think I'm just gonna put it on the edge of this, because when I put it on here, I pick it up, I'm probably gonna get it on my fingers. So I'm trying not to get too much. Just a little bit, all the way around. I'm just gonna line it up with that shape. Okay. And then I'm going to adhere it to the center of this piece of cardstock. So I'm going to put just a little bit of glue around here. And then I'm going to put glue just around the edges of this square piece. I could tell I've already got something sticky on my finger. That paper's sticking to it. Okay. And I'm going to center it right over this oval. I already like the way these colors are coming together, thank goodness. Okay, then I'm going to do this as well on the back. Now for the lid, we're going to cut the tabs so that we can fold them together to make the lid of the box. I'm going to cut along this score line. And I'm just going to make a little wedge. I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. Then I'm going to fold along the score lines. And I'm going to start putting my lid together. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this first tab. Oh, you know what? I had meant to put my little sides on first, which I think I will. I like to put them on while it's still flat. Not that you can't put it on after the box is together, but for me it's easier if I can just do it while it's flat. And this has writing, so I'll make sure my writing is right side up on the lid. I'm going to center it on each of these little rectangles, which will be the sides of the lid. That looks great together. That petal pink background is just pretty. Petal pink is one of my favorite colors as far as the pinks go. Just want to make sure my little edges stay down. And I like those foil accents. It just makes it shiny without having to add a whole lot of bling to it. I went to the on stage in Las Vegas, so I was able to order this paper a little bit ahead of time. When demonstrators go to that, they give you a few days to order something ahead of time. So I can't wait, but you can only order so much. So definitely want to get a lot more of this paper when it's available. I can tell it's one of my favorites already. Okay. Now we're going to put the tabs together. I'm going to put a little bit more glue just in case it started drying too much. So you're just going to fold it and make sure it's square. You're going to do that on all four sides. Just pinch it to stay in place. And you go back and reinforce it once you're all done. Okay. So this is the lid. Very pretty. Now we're going to work on the base of the box. So we have two pieces. I am going to go ahead and put my designer series paper on these sides before I start gluing it together or anything. And these Eiffel Towers are all different directions, which makes it nice. Now we're going to center these in those squares. See, there's the score line. We're going to center them towards the bottom. Not in the middle, but towards the bottom. Because when you put the lid on there, it's going to cover up the top part of this cardstock. So you center them towards the bottom. I'm going to glue all those on. And I just do the best I can by looking at it. I don't measure it. It's pretty easy to tell. And the products I'm going to use to decorate the sides are also products that will be available in January 2020. But in the meantime, you could be making these boxes as Christmas gifts. Very inexpensive and just so pretty. Another thing I was able to get early, because I did go on stage, were the Parisian dies. So they have this word amour. I'm going to go ahead and adhere one to each of these blocks. This is a beautiful set. This is the one I used. It says amour, and it has the Eiffel Tower. It's just a really nice set. I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. So I'm just going to put little tiny dots of glue. Try not to get too much. I should pull out my other glue with a fine tip, but I'm not. I think I can make this work. I just put little dots in places that are a little bit bigger. I don't put it over the whole outline of the word. Got a little too much. And I'm just going to kind of angle it like this. And this is, I did this in cherry cobbler because that matches the color on this paper. So I'll do the other one real quick. Okay. Another set which is coming out in January is for Valentine's. It's called Heartfelt. So I used this stamp from that set, and it comes with, you can order a pack of punches to go with it, a heart pack. So this one is going to, this punch will cut out these hearts that I stamped in cherry cobbler. Like I say, this will be available January the 3rd, 2020. I think I may have got that a little, on that paper, a little too high. Nope, it's going to work. So line that up. I love that scalloped heart. Trim it just a little bit so it can fit into the punch. There we go. Okay. I had some metal hearts that say love on them. I don't know where I got these from, but I thought those would be pretty in the center there, and I put a little, there's a little dimensional there to hold it in there. I thought that would add a little something, because I'm going to put these on this part. And I'm going to pop them up with dimensionals. But I also have an arrow from an old Stampin' Up! Die set. Now, you see those aren't big enough for the back of that, but I'm going to cut them in half. This was from an old set called Love Notes frameless dies. So I'm just using one of those arrows. And I want it to go like that. Come up on that side. So I'm going to put some tape on the back of each of these hearts, about like this. That way I'll be sure to get my arrow straight, because I'm going to cut it in half. You know, in this box, you notice I'm decorating 2 different designs on the sides. You could do, if you want to, the same design on all 4 sides. That's how I did my snowflake box. Or you could do something different on all 4 panels. But this one I thought would be kind of cool to have every other panel. So I'm just cutting this in half. I'm going to stick the tip of that on this piece. Oops, I forgot to peel it off. That might help a little. Pull both of those off. Now it might stick. like that. And then the end of that arrow is going to go here. That way it looks like it's going through the heart, behind the heart. Do the same thing with this one. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of these hearts. I think I'll go ahead and use these pieces. Honestly, these are my favorite pieces. Once you get some of that stuff. So I'm going to put one there kind of to make sure, give a little extra support so the arrow doesn't slip off for any reason. I'll do another little one over there. There. And I'm just going to put that right in the middle of this other square. Okay. Now we're just going to fold along the score lines. I'm going to use some tear and tape to put this box together. I'm going to put some there, adhere it here, then fold it, and adhere the other part there. So I'm put tear and tape on both sides. I know you can tear it. I just like to cut it. So we're going to adhere the first side. Right here, just line it up with that score line. Okay. And then it's going to fold like this. So I'll take this one off. I'm going to kind of stand it up. Might be easier for me. Maybe, maybe not. There we go. Oops, almost. Yeah, okay. So, there's the base of the box. Now we're going to glue the lid onto the box. I'm going to test it. Yeah, very nice. I'm going to put it over a Kleenex box just to make it stand up better for me. Perfect. See how it fits? And then I'm going to just glue this to the top. I want it that direction so the heart's facing like that. For this part, you're just going to put some glue inside the edge of this lid. and you're going to fit it right over the top of the box. Then I'm going to take it off and kind of press inside there to make sure that glue is sticking all the way around. And there you have it. I love how this turned out. So hopefully this gives you another idea of different projects you can make for Christmas or any occasion. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have fun making a Kleenex box cover.